All right, welcome back to Bald and Board Games. I'm Bald. Board's on vacation. I am continuing our rulebook rundown of Mythwind. We just went through, and so you're saying I just went through and did the entire town charter, and now we're going to be jumping into the farmer. So, just went through this whole book. It says begin here, which covers the core of the entire game, and it goes over. I'm just gonna get the right view here. Yeah, so the board here is not entirely on the screen, but the main sort of game board. If we come out, there you go. So this big thing here goes over this whole town area, what the different actions mean. So now we're gonna focus purely in on the farmer and his character journal, which tells us how to play as the farmer. And so the way the Mythwind plays, if you don't know, is you choose one character to play as, or you could choose two. We're playing by yourself or more. Recommend starting off with one, but the base game comes with the farmer, the ranger, the crafter, and the merchant, and they each have their own journals, which essentially is a book that tells you how to use them. So we're gonna start with the farmer. He has the easiest difficulty rating of 1. And we're gonna go through this all the way through, and then we'll have another video that'll go over the next character and the next and the next, and then we'll dive into the 5th character they have right now, which is the innkeeper from the Expanded Horizons expansion. And then we'll go over the other like little micro kind of expansions that we've gotten, some event stuff, and some little magical miniature guys here, as well as the friends and family. So, but first we're gonna jump into the farmer's journal. Oh, we have a little entry here. Nice. Day 3. I found an area suitable for planting. The greenery is fertile, thanks to a lot of sun exposure and natural drainage. Some of the others are concerned, but they can't see past the hard work to come. The local sprites have different worries. I don't think that they've seen soil cultivated in our way. On the other hand, they show an apparent affinity for the land. So it's in my best interest to learn from their expertise. It'll take a lot of us to make this sustainable. All right, let me just make sure that the volume, everything is good. Okay, cool. We look good. All right, here we go. So the introduction. Let me move this out of the way over here. Cool. The farmer's goal is to plant and harvest crops for the citizens of the Mythwind Valley. The farmer tends to crops, manages livestock, and purchases equipment, all in an effort to run an efficient and profitable farm that produces a steady income of coins. So, complexity of 1. So, probably a good one to start with. So, the character summary. Crops. The farmer focuses on planting and tending and harvesting crops on their farm, which will be in this area here, I believe. Crops consist of a variety of polyomino tokens that slot into the farmland portion of the farmer's character tray. The farmer must manage the placement of these tokens in the farmland to create fields for a variety of crops. Livestock and equipment. Livestock and equipment are purchased to increase the farmer's efficiency and output. These are also represented by tokens that slot into the farmland portion of the farmer's character tray. So this is the farmland here. Season and weather effects. Each season, the farmer experiences the weather in a unique way. They are given the opportunity to leverage the weather of each season to perform additional actions. That's cool. Oh, so right here. Fun. Nothing in winter. Crops die. So then board's favorite part goes over the component list here. So the trade, all the punch outs, character mini, and we do have the sun dropped minis, of course. All right, so for setup. So I've already gone through and done the setup. I'll read through it again just so you have it. To set up the first game, the farmer perform the steps presented in this section. To set up subsequent games, see the saving and continuing. So page 34 and 35, end of the book. So 1, assemble the farmer tray. Done. Insert the weather chart, farmer board, and header in the depicted areas. Gather the miniature. Boom, coins and skills. So take the farmer miniature, 10 coins, which I have. So let me put this up here. See it? Perfect. So 10 coins. I have 2 5-coin pieces. And the 10 farmer skills, we have those as well right here. There's 10 of them. Boom, 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 boom. And place them near the farmer tray. Place the farmer skills face down so the levels are visible. Okay, so let's see what space do we have here. let's go off to the side where he is. We don't really need the reference card in view, so let's take out all of those. I love the storage of this game. It's magnificent. So it says to place them face down, okay? So the skills face down, so the levels are visible. All right, so we have level 1, Rancher. Level 1, Good Planter. That's a level 3 for Botany. Level 2, Cowboy. It's level 3, Careful Harvester. That's level 2, Farmer's Almanac. Nice. Level 2, a Handy. Level 1, a Harvester. A level 1 for Green Thumb. And a level 3, Worker Engagement. So we'll have those out, sorted by their levels. So we have the level 1s up top here, level 2s, and level 3s here. Works for me. All right. Create the farmer supply. Take the 15 livestock tokens and 18 equipment tokens and place them near the farmer tray. So that's all of these over here. All of those, yeah. So all of these things to take out. Place near the tray. Which you could probably keep these in the tray until you needed them, but I'm gonna do what it says. And make sure they're on the right side as well. And the livestock. Some moo-moos. Right. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here, buddy. Come here, buddy, buddy, buddy. What's that? That is my livestock. All right, there we go. Livestock and equipment near the tray. Take the 24 crop tokens and place them inside the draw bag. So all of these will be going inside the draw bag. Okay. There we are. Draw them. Okay. Create the cropped market. So randomly take 4 crop tokens from the bag and place 1 on each of the 4 plant icons on the crop market. So it does not matter which side of the crop is face up. So let's get the coin out of here. So this is purely going to be used, it seems like, for storage. So we can flip this over. So this has some stuff that references the game board for buying resources. So this is the crop market. So it's saying to randomly take 4 crop tokens, place 1 on each of the 4 icons. Doesn't matter which side is face up. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. So it's going to be like a Tetris thing where it's coming over and down of sorts, I assume. Place the untamed land. So place the 8 untamed land tokens on the farmland in the farmer's tray. All right, so untamed land, I believe, are all of these. Should be 8 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good. Okay, so place on the tray. So untamed land tokens can be placed in any orientation, but they cannot be adjacent to each other. It is recommended to leave a patch of vacant farmland so you have space to develop your farm in the early portions of the game. Okay. So it's recommended that we leave like a large patch available So they can't touch each other. So let me do something like this. Yeah, let's just go around the edge, I guess. Actually, you know what? Yeah. Let's do... Go next to each other. So... There you go. How about that? Why not? So we have a patch in here. Can we make that any bigger? Still obeying the rules. So it could be this. That might give me a little bit more room somewhere. Sure. I'll do that. So we have this open area right there. Cool. Yep, I'm gonna deal with it. Moving on. All right, so the basic concepts. So this section contains the basic concepts for the players who are using the farmer. So you have the farmland, which is this right here. The open area of the farmer's character's tray is their farmland. The farmland is where the farmer places crop, livestock, and equipment tokens throughout the game. The farmland begins the game covered with untamed land tokens that the farmer can remove to create space for farming. Again, these are untamed land that can be removed to create space. Crops, livestock, equipment, blah, 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 blah. Would that be orientated in that specific way, maybe? Oh. Do they have to be... Oh, can be placed in any orientation. Okay. No. So they can be turned. Okay. Got it. Crops, livestock, equipment are all represented by the tokens the farmer places in their farmland. So livestock, equipment, crops are in the bag here. Crops, these are the types of crops. So beans, potatoes, and strawberries. Each crop token is double-sided with a tended and untended side. The importance of this distinction is described later. So I assume the clean one is tended and the messy one's untended. Oh, you are. I don't know. Potatoes. Huh. Was it? Okay. Oh, so here it shows you. Can you see? Kind of. So, yeah, okay, so untended is like, so this is untended. The reverse side of the strings, that's tended. Untended potatoes, ungrown, tended. Untended strawberries is the side with a little bit of color. Tended is the very colorful side. So it seems like the tended side costs more because you let them actually fully grow, I assume. Livestock and equipment. The farmer can buy and sell livestock and equipment, which provides abilities that allow the farmer to work their farm more efficiently. All livestock tokens are identical. Equipment tokens are double-sided and each have their own cost and abilities. Okay, so the livestock are simply 3, same on each side. The equipment, however, so here we have a sickle, and then here there's other stuff, which I'm assuming is in reference to this. I don't know. No idea. And these ones are gray and oh, 20? Damn. Okay, so these are clearly seem like they're upgraded. When farming, the farmer must manage the placement of their crop, livestock, and equipment tokens. If two adjacent of any type ever share a border, they are adjacent. If two tokens of any type ever share a border, they are adjacent. Okay. I don't know why I read that twice. Adjacent. No idea. Cool. So it shows a little diagram here. So if we had something like this, these are adjacent because they're of the same type. Okay. Any grouping of contiguous adjacent crops of the same type, regardless of the 10 status, is called a field. Okay, so like I just did here. So this is a field of strawberries. Even if this one was untended, this is still a field of strawberries because it's contiguous of the same type. Okay. A field can be adjacent to other fields, and a single crop token that is adjacent to no other fields is of its own. So here, give you some examples. So this is a bean field. The beans are part of one field, and the potatoes are part of another field, and the potatoes are part of their own field here. So like we just did, do this again. Go down here, we'll do this. So strawberry field, and then if I had these guys here, this is its own bean field. So bean field, strawberry field, then untended wilds, obviously. So the farmer's header on their character tray contains a crop market. What is that? Where the farmer purchases crops to plant in their farmland. The crop market has 4 zones, indicated by a plant icon. Each zone can hold a single crop token, and the market replenishes during dusk. Okay, so every dusk phase, this will replenish. So again, there's 3 phases in the day. There's dawn, day, and dusk. And dusk essentially is that cleanup phase of everything where you check goals, and or no, goals in the season, where you I forget what. We just went over it. Hold on. Dusk. Where's dusk? Dusk. So dusk. So during this phase, each character simultaneously performs the following steps. You return character and return workers, and then that's where it seems like this action will happen for him to where it'll replenish the crop market. So essentially, at the end of each day, the crop market replenishes. Ooh, Ottawa. Day phase summary. Each game round of Mythwind is a day that consists of 3 phases: dawn, daytime, and dusk. To resolve each phase, characters perform a number of steps. The primary steps of each phase are resolved by all characters as a group, and the rules for these steps are described in detail throughout the town charter, which is this that we went through earlier. And for you all, you can find the video where I went through the town charter. In addition to a phase's primary steps, each character has their own unique steps to resolve. These steps are spread throughout the 3-day phases and are different for each character. The rules that govern the farmer's unique steps are detailed on the next page. So there's a note about simultaneous play, so everyone can play at the same time, but before you move on to the next phase, everyone has to be finished with their portion. So everyone has to finish with their day phase before you move on to the day, or their dawn phase before you move on to daytime, and finish with daytime before you move on to dusk, and finish with dusk before you can start a new day entirely. Below is a summary of the 3-day phases for the farmer. Each step that is governed by rules presented in the town charter is followed by a town charter icon, which is a little blue book icon. You can see kind of there. All other steps are unique to the farmer and governed by the rules presented in this character journal. So for dawn, you determine the weather, which everybody does anyway. Check the season effect, which everyone does anyway. Resolve weather effect, which everyone does. And then resolve farmer weather effect. So all these things that are marked with the blue book can be found in the rulebook rundown for the town charter, where I went through that whole entire charter verbatim with the town board to show you examples of what they're talking about. Phase 2 is daytime. So you're going to perform the town action. That also goes over in the charter what that means. Then you'll perform character action. So for the farmer, that is either farming or resolving a skill. Then you can perform a worker action. Okay. And then for dusk, return character, return workers, both also cover the town charter, and then replenish the crop market. So it seems pretty straightforward, but we'll see as we go into phase 1, dawn. All right. The farmer's unique step for dawn is described in this section. So his unique step is resolve the farmer weather effect, which happens at the end of the dawn phase. Resolve farmer weather effect. The changing seasons and weather that affect the town can also uniquely affect the farmer. A good farmer is always quick to act when the weather is favorable for certain tasks. The farmer character's tray contains a weather chart. Right there. During this, let's skip that. Which indicates specific weather patterns for spring, summer, fall seasons. Allow the farmer to perform these actions. There are no weather advantages during the winter, so the farmer can skip the step during that season. So in the winter season, you're not going to do anything at the end of dawn because there is no added effect. During this step, the farmer verifies the current season by checking the season tile on the town board. Then the farmer verifies the weather for the most recent day by checking the drawn weather card. Let's see, I think we have a picture of the town tile here. Yeah. So this right here on the town board is the season tile. So you can see it's summer right now. So that summer will correlate to right here, summer. Okay. If the farmer's weather chart matches the current weather, the farmer resolves the actions shown on the chart for that season. The actions are described in detail later. So here, we get access to this action if the weather is rain. So when we flip a weather card at the beginning of the round, so not sun, give me the rain. Where's the rain? No, that's cloudy. I don't want that now. That's also cloudy. Can we get some rain? Can we get some rain? There's some rain. So if we drew rain, then this would be in effect because we're in the summer season. We would need sun for spring. We would need cloudy for fall. So what happens if we draw rain? Okay. Oh, well, it says that the actions are described in detail later. For now, just know that's what you're looking for. You're trying to cross-reference whatever this is right here with that and your weather chart. So season is summer, we drew rain, we get whatever that effect is, which we will go over later, apparently. Okay, moving on. Phase 2, daytime. During the daytime, the farmer performs the character action, which includes farm and resolve skill actions, followed by any number of worker actions. The farmer's unique character and worker actions are described in this section. So, as you can see here, daytime, after the town action phase, you perform your character actions. So you get the farm and resolve skills, and then you can do the worker actions. Easy, buddy. My goodness. Okay, so for the character actions for farm. This character action allows the farmer to work their farm. They can clear their field, plant new crops, tend their existing crops, harvest crops for selling, and manage their livestock and equipment. The farmer begins by selecting one of the 5 actions displayed on their character tray. Each of these actions is designated as a sprite action, a villager action, or both. An action's designation is indicated by the worker icons and the color scheme. Blue for sprites, orange for villagers on the character tray. For example, the top 2 actions on the character tray are sprite actions because they appear on the blue background sprite icon. Boom, 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 boom. The actions that the farmer selects must match their alignment. If they are aligned with sprites, they can select the top 2 actions or the middle one. If they're aligned with villagers, they can select the bottom 2 actions or the middle one. So during the rulebook rundown for the town charter, when you're choosing your main action, the main action you choose and for some of them how you resolve them will determine your alignment, either sprite or villager. So that's saying here, whatever your alignment is from those main actions in the town, that will determine which of these are available to you for the farmer. So to learn more about that, go watch our town charter rulebook rundown. If they're aligned with the villager, blah, blah, blah. Cool. Okay. Each selection allows the farmer to perform a specific action as follows. So top one here is plant, tend, harvest and clear, livestock, equipment. For plant. The plant action allows the farmer to place crop tokens in their farmland. To plant, first, the farmer takes 1 crop token from the crop market. If the crop token is from one of the 3 zones that has a cost, the farmer must spend the number of coins shown in that zone before taking its crop token. If the crop token is in the rightmost zone, the farmer can take that crop token for free. So, freebie, cost you 1, cost you 1, cost you 2. Then the farmer places the crop token in their farmland. When placing the crop token, the farmer obeys the following rules. That's good. The crop token must be placed so it is untended, side is face up. So let's flip these over to start at the untended side. Okay. The crop token must be placed in any orientation. So let's see. Okay, we're going to do this. So I'm going to take this one. So untended side up. It can be placed in any orientation. The crop token must be placed in a field with the same type of crop, untended or tended. If the farmer is placing a crop that is not yet in their farmland, they can place the crop token anywhere they choose. Okay. So let's do... So for these guys, we can place this anywhere we want because there's nothing on there, right? So it could go literally anywhere that it fits. But let's say instead we had this one already out, the strawberries, and we say we're going to be planting this one instead. So let me do this. Let me get another one of these out here for you, just so I can set the example. Boop. Okay, so this is the next one coming in. So now, because we have strawberries out here, this has to go out connected to a strawberry field in some way. So I could place it like this, but then that limits that space. I would have to find another one of those to be able to put something in there. So I think I'm going to, and if I put it like this, that closes off that one section for now. Ooh, how about this? Why not? Let's have some fun. Oh, you are fighting back, buddy. Don't you fight with me. Get in there. There. I'm gonna do that. Okay. For tending, the tend action allows a farmer to tend a crop, increasing its value. To tend, the farmer chooses any untended crop token in their farmland and flips that token so its tended side is face up. Tended crops are more valuable than untended crops when harvesting, which is described later. So when flipping the crop token during the tend action, the farmer can rotate the token before placing it, obeying the following rules. The crop token must be placed in the same field and cannot break apart the field. At least one section of the crop token must be placed in a slot in the farmland that was previously occupied by the section of that token. So, for instance, I have my 3-piece here. Say I'm going to tend this. I'm going to flip it over. I can put it back like that. I cannot do this because it's breaking up the field, but I can do that because this section here was part of the initial portion that I was touching. So that could come in handy if you need to shift your crops a little bit. Cool. Harvest and clear. The harvest action allows the farmer to sell crops for profit or clear untamed land. To harvest, the farmer chooses one crop token from their farmland, gains a number of coins shown on that token, and then removes the token from the farmland, placing it in the supply. The farmer can harvest any crop token, whether it is untended or tended. Harvesting crops can break up fields. So I could choose to harvest this 3 to get 3 money, and it can break up that field if I so choose. Put that back for now. Clear. To clear, the farmer chooses one untamed land token in the farmland, spends the number of coins shown on the untamed land token, and then removes the token from the farmland, placing it in the supply. So pretty straightforward there. So we have a 5 here. So I would pay 5 to the supply to remove this untamed land. And now this is open for me. Livestock. This action allows farmers to manage their livestock. So that's what this one is here. To perform this action, a farmer can buy, sell, move, and breed livestock. The farmer can resolve each action up to one time. The farmer can resolve these options in any order. So you can buy. So to buy, farmers spend 3 coins to take 1 livestock token from the supply and place that token in any empty slot of their farm land. So if I spent 3, 2, boom, get rid of these livestock, and it does have a 3 on there as a reminder. That's how much it costs. And I can place it into any empty slot on my farm land. So we'll put you right there. So that's a good way to cover up a 1 spot if need be. Sell. To sell, a farmer removes any number of livestock tokens from their land and places them in the supply. Then they gain 2 coins for each livestock token they removed. Okay, so selling livestock, you get 1 less. So you don't get the full 3 back. You just get 2 back for selling them. So if I sell the livestock, I'm going to get 2 coins instead of 3. Move. Move, farmer takes 1 livestock token from their farmland, placed in any empty space slot within the farmland. So if I had someone else over here in the corner and no longer need them there, I can literally just move them over here. Move them out of the way. Breed. To breed, the farmer selects 2 livestock tokens adjacent to each other and not being used in an active equipment. Then the farmer places 1 livestock token adjacent to at least 1 of the selected tokens. The farmer does not have to pay the cost for the new livestock token. Okay, so if I had these 2, I could choose to breed them, which would then produce a 3rd that I don't have to pay for, and I can go adjacent to either of the 2 other livestock that are there. So it's a little baby cow. Equipment, which is the last action here. This action allows farmer to manage their equipment. Equipment rules. Each equipment token has an inactive side and an active side. The inactive side has a cost and a livestock value, and the active side has an ability. So, inactive is the side here that has a cost and a livestock value. Active is this side here that has looks like the action icons on them. Equipment is always placed in the farmland with the inactive side face up. If the number of livestock tokens adjacent to an equipment token is ever equal to or greater than the livestock value on the equipment token, the farmer flips that equipment token to its active side. Hello, Clove. Yeah, you're fine.
So I won't get you in the middle. You could cut around it.
Yep. Good.
Sorry.
We're talking about livestock.
Here you're talking about your livestock.
You can breed your cows.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
Little baby moo-moos.
Like free cows.
Yep, free baby moo-moos. Ain't got to pay for them. Just poop them out, you're good to go.
I'm currently in the midst of balance transfer right now.
Mm.
I have to do like 10 steps of verification.
Fun.
Why?
Gotta make sure you are who you say you are. Hi, Cloven. Hi, Lily.
Want me to take the girls, or if they're chill, leave them?
That's fine. I mean, as long as you don't mind the door being open and me talking.
I have a TV on, by the way.
No, so.
All right, come on, girl.
Go on, Lily.
Sorry,
I don't want to get blood out.
Come on, Bubba. Yeah, we can't be eating
Oh,
that
Clove. He's like, well, Mama, what's up?
I'm sorry.
All right. So equipment is always placed with the inactive side face up. If the number of livestock tokens adjacent to an equipment token is ever equal to or greater than the livestock value on the equipment token, the farmer flips that equipment token to its active side. Okay. So if I had this equipment token, say it was over here, right? And I had my cows over here, I could move a cow adjacent to it. The moment that it's adjacent to it, because it says 1, this would flip over to its active side. Livestock can count as adjacent to multiple pieces of equipment if the number of livestock tokens adjacent to an equipment token is ever less than the livestock value on that token. The farmer flips the equipment token to its inactive side. So if it's ever less than, so if they moved, this would automatically flip back over to that side. And as I mentioned earlier, if I wanted to breed a cow, livestock, if this cow is engaged with this equipment token, which it would be if this is flipped like this, then I cannot breed with this cow here. I believe I said earlier. To breed, farmer selects 2 livestock adjacent to each other not being used in active equipment. So right now this one's being used in active equipment, so I could not breed with that cow. Okay. The farmer can resolve the abilities on the active equipment tokens in their farmland anytime they apply. For example, if a character has a plow, they can plant 1 additional crop each time they resolve the plant action, for any reason. The abilities of each equipment token are described in the equipment index, page 32 and 33. So here we have the 2 sickles. So what this is saying is every time I do, I believe that's the tend. No, that's the harvest or clear. So anytime I do the harvest or clear action, this will allow me to do an additional harvest or clear action. Equipment actions. So to perform the equipment action, the farmer can buy, sell, or move equipment. The farmer can resolve each action once in any order. So, buy. To buy, the farmer chooses an equipment token from the supply, spends the number of coins shown on that token. So here would be 5 I would have to spend. I can't afford a 5. Oh no. Well, we'll say that I can. So I'm going to spend my 5. Bought it. And then places it into an empty slot in the farmland, but its inactive side face up. So it would go inactive here to start, typically, but then, of course, because I have the 1 livestock next to it, it's going to immediately become active. To sell. So to sell, the farmer chooses an equipment token in their farmland, gains a number of coins equal to half the amount shown on the token, rounded down, and then removes that token from the farmland, placing it in the supply. The farmer can sell inactive and active equipment. Okay, so if I wanted to sell this, it would be half of 5 rounded down, which would get me 2. To move, the farmer takes 1 equipment token from their farmland and places it in any empty slot within the farmland. So if I have an active token, I can move it, but if I don't end up moving it next to another livestock, if I put it down here, it's going to become inactive until I put livestock next to it again. Okay. Resolve skill. This character action allows the farmer to resolve a skill that is in the same row as the action resolved on their character tray. Resolving a skill is optional. The rules for gaining and resolving skills described on page 30. So resolving a skill, so essentially if we have, let's try a simple one. I don't want that one. What's a simple one? What's the example they're showing me? Come on. Where are you? So I'm looking at all my skills to see. Okay, here we go. So if we did this action, we could then also resolve this skill that's attached to it. That's what it's saying. Oh no. Perform worker actions. The farmer has 5 worker actions in their character tray that require a worker to resolve. 2 of the actions are sprite actions that require a sprite die. 2 of the actions are villager actions that require a villager die. And 1 of the actions requires any type of die. So again, this is talking about these actions so we just went through what each of those mean, and now we're talking about performing the worker actions. So we just went through was the farm action based on our alignment, right? So this side of everything, okay? So we went through, okay, but when we do this, And you can potentially do additionally, so resolving a skill. So character action allows the farmer to resolve a skill that's in the same row as the action they resolved in their character tray. So if I did this, could also do that. So now we're talking about performing worker actions. So that's when we have dice slotted in, I assume, to these areas. Shall see them. So we have 5 worker actions on the character tray that require a worker to resolve. 2 of the actions are sprite actions that require a sprite die. 2 of the actions are villager actions that require a villager die, and one of them requires one type of either die. So of course, villager, sprite, either. Okay. During this step, the farmer can use any number of their hired workers in their dice well to perform these worker actions. To use a hired worker, the farmer takes a die from their dice well. So we'll say that we had a sprite die in here. Okay. Decreases it. So reducing the number of pips shown by 1. So we're going to take this out, bring it down from a 2 to a 1, and places it into a slot of the worker action they wish to perform. Cool. Okay. Only sprites can be placed in sprite slots, villagers, and villager slots. After placing a die into a worker actions slot, the farmer resolves that action. The worker actions allow the farmer to perform any of their farm actions using the same rules as described earlier in the rulebook. So you get to do one of those beforehand. I think just one, right? Farmer to work their farm. So one of the 5 actions in the character tray. So you can do one of those 5 actions first when you go to do your farm. And so again, we're in the phase 2, the daytime. So in daytime, you perform your town actions, then you can perform your character actions, which is to farm and resolve a skill associated. So during this phase, the character actions, I can choose to do, okay, I'm going to do the harvest or clear action and this skill that's in the same row. Then, after you get done doing that, you can perform worker actions if you have dice here. And now this allows you to have some flexibility, right? So if I chose to do this as my farm action because my alignment for the town action was the villager, I can only do these 3 actions. But say on my turn, I also really wanted to do one of these 2. So I can do this as my farm action, or as my character action, and then the worker action, having this die, will allow me, even though my alignment's not sprite, will allow me to use the sprite die that I have to perform that action. Essentially, the sprite's helping me in that moment. And then you follow all the same rules for each of the actions as you did beforehand. Cool. The other thing is that when you're doing the worker action, you do not also do the skill action. The skill action is only done as the character action part first. Okay. And then we go on to phase 3, which is Dusk. So, wait, sorry, farmer action to allow farmer to perform any of their farmer actions using the same rules described earlier in this rulebook. Dice action allows the farmer to tend. Yeah. I would imagine that means you don't get to use the skill as well. I mean, unless you, maybe you do, I don't know. Does it say? The character action allows the farmer to resolve a skill, not the same row, resolve the character. Farmer chose a 10, then may resolve the previously gained rancher skill. Okay, so that makes sense. So the skills are only used by the farmer, so the workers are not using the skills. Okay. So phase 3, Dusk. The farmer's unique step for Dusk is described in this section. Thanks. Replenish the crop market. During this step, the crop market is replenished, adding new crops to take the place of those that were planted. To replenish the crop market, the farmer slides all the crop tokens in the market to the right until each of the rightmost zones have 1 crop token. Okay. My bad. So replenish crop market, slides all the crop tokens to the right until each of those zones then adds a random one. Okay, so of course, yeah. We'll slide everything to the right and then put a new one out. So Tetris. Makes sense. Okay. Done diggly go. Oh, that was it. Literally, that's all you do. So at the end of that Dusk Phase, once you've done your return character, return workers from the main kind of portion of the game, your individual thing is to refresh your crop market. Pretty straightforward. All right, so the end of season summary. At the end of the season arrives, each character has their own upkeep steps to resolve. Characters can resolve their character upkeep steps simultaneously. Below is a summary of the end of season upkeep steps for the farmer. So this happens, all these blue marks means, that is covered in the town charter, which means it's part of the main game. It's not individually unique. So you can resolve end of season actions, and then you resolve the goal cards, the weather deck, by resetting it, change the season tile. Then the unique thing is resolve the character upkeep, and then you could potentially change characters if you so choose to as you're going into a new season. So the farmer resolves their upkeep before deciding if they wish to change characters as described in the town charter. So then here is the character upkeep that would be performing. During the farmer character's upkeep, the mysterious nature of the sprites may cause an overgrowth on the farmland. Overgrowth. So to resolve an overgrowth step, the farmer chooses a number of worker dice from the tower according to the season as follows. So for spring, it's 0, summer is 1, fall is 1, and winter is 2. Okay, is that mentioned anywhere? Not in the back of the book. How about there? Nice. It is mentioned on the reference card. Perfect. Okay. If there are not enough dice at the tower, and again, the tower, you see on your screen, is this section here where you can see this dice. This is the tower where dice get put and get drafted from. So there's not enough dice at the tower. Take an additional dice from the supply. Then roll the dice and place a number of random untamed land tokens in the farmland equal to the result. Place the dice back at the tower or in the supply as appropriate, preserving the new results and re-rolling any blanks as necessary. So if we are in the summer, we would take this die, which we are in the summer, and we would roll this. So I'll just do it right here. So if this became a 2, this would now be a 2. We preserve that. We put it back where it came from with the new result on there. And then we have to randomly take 2 of these tiles and put them onto the board. So the untamed land tokens can be placed anywhere in the farmland, even adjacent to each other. So now we can place them adjacent to each other where we couldn't initially from the start. If there's not enough space for the untamed land tokens, the farmer must remove crop, animal, or equipment tokens to create space. Tokens removed in this way do not generate coins. If the farmer cannot place an untamed land token because they're all in use, or because there is not enough space because of other untamed land tokens, they do not place any new untamed land tokens. So in this instance, I rolled a 2. I only have 1 untamed land token, so I would only be placing 1, and I could have to put it down somewhere, so I could put it here and just make this one huge untamed land area, potentially, if I wanted to. Cool. And that is the upkeep that happens before you choose if you want to change characters or not. All right. So it looks like here it's going to go in more depth into what the skills are, which are over here on this side, and kind of how you get those, what those mean. As described in the town charter, characters can gain skills by using the longhouse or resolving game effects that have a skill icon. When a character gains a skill, they must pay its cost. For the farmer, the cost for the skill is a number of tended crop tokens. All right, so for instance, this one here that I have on the board, I would have had to have paid 2 tended strawberries, 1 tended potato, and 3 tended beans to get Galboy. To spend a crop to pay for a skill, the farmer must remove the crop from the farmland and place it in the supply. The farmer does not gain any harvesting benefits, so coins, for spent crops. All right, so when a farmer gains a skill, they must pay its cost. So when you gain a skill, okay, pay a skill number of tended crops. To spend a crop to pay for a skill, the farmer must remove the crop from the farmland and place it in the supply. The farmer does not gain any harvesting benefits. Okay, so no coins. All right, so to get these, they have to be on this board. So I would have had to have had, these two do not like each other. My lord, chill. So I would have had to have had, get in there. These ones are putting up a good old fuss there. Stick. Why don't you want to play nice? Whatever. It's there. Spend whatever this is. It would have to be tended on the board and have to remove them. So that means you have to really focus on getting your crops tended so you can take them off to get your skills. It costs a lot to fill up all these skills. That's crazy. There are 3 skill levels. Levels 2 and 3 can only be gained if either of the 2 depicted on the skill is in play. Sprites come into play once unlocked through event cards. Oh, interesting. That's cool. So on these, there are little sprite pictures. So either of those 2 have to be in play to be able to learn this skill. So essentially, you're learning it from one of them. Cool. Which goes over, and you have to pay the crops. That's only valid for skills 2 and 3. Number 1 doesn't have any sprites on it. After the farmer pays the cost for a skill, they flip it to the ability side and place it in any of the skill slots on their character tray. When a character gains a skill, they can rearrange all their gained skills among their slots, however they choose. Then it has a skill index, which goes over everything. So for Cowboy, we'll see this is. So Cowboy we have out means move 1 livestock token to any open slot in the farm land. So when doing the harvest and clear, I can then also move a cow as well. I'm not going to go over all of these. You can go through those if you need to refer to the skill index. They have an equipment index as well in here too. All right. I will go over saving the game though. To save the farmer, perform the steps presented in this section. So, return the farmer miniature to the and draw bag to the game box. So, miniature, empty the draw bag, okay? Remove the farmer header from the tray and the crop market tokens. So, all these will be removed. Boom. Place all the farmer's coins and unused crop tokens, equipment, and livestock into the tray, replacing the farmer's header on the tray. So let's give him his starting 10 back, which is good. We're going to, we can keep it there, that's fine. These need to figure out. You are getting held up somewhere. Oh, it's just the nature of the piece. That's fine. There we go. Okay. So remove the left farmer board, placing the unused skills and cleared untamed land in the tray. Replace the board as well. So then remove this as well. Okay. So all these crops go in here. As you saw me take them out earlier. I don't know why Zelda's popping in my head, but it is. And we'll get all of our little moo-moos in there, and our equipments. Cool. And I'll put the header back on. Boom. And then I was saying to take all of these. I'll put all of these in here. Okay. Yeah. And this will go back where it was. Okay. And this is finally placed to live in the character tray to preserve the state of all that's in play. Yeah, it's perfect. And we'll take the lid. Place it there. Boom. So that way your crop stays the same. So when you start your next season, all this will remain as is. Your skills are unlocked, remain as is. At the end of a season is when you're saving everything. It tells you to move any dice that are here back up to their well, so they hold them as long as there is a pip. I do believe. Let's see here. End of season. So resolve end of season actions. Or is that the end of the day? There it is, end of day. Return workers. So replace all of our. So if a die has one or more pips remaining, return it to the character's dice well. So that's what we did. So had 1 pip left, we put it back there. If it has zeros, you would roll it and you would place it back in the tower section over here. But that is the farmer. To set the farmer back up, to continue the farmer, perform the steps presented in the section. So you're going to gather the unused skills, crops, equipment, livestock, coins from the tray. So just like in the beginning, you're going to take all those out, lay them out kind of around your tray however you want. Gather the miniature and the draw bag from the box. Take the unused crops. You're going to place them inside the draw bag, and then you're going to create the crop market, and you continue playing. So pretty cool, pretty straightforward actually, pretty easy. When I saw that these had individual books, I was like, oh man, this might be a little bit difficult to jump into and learn, but it seems like it's very, very organized in the steps that you go through and do. So there is a reference card that's on here. So for farming, it goes over each of those actions. So you have them on there. Okay, when you do the farm action, what does it mean? And of course, it was the same as the worker actions. Pretty simple. And then end of season for the overgrowth, just to make sure you have that reference there. There is a reference card here for end of season and the general icons. I think on the back, there it is. So on the back of the individual character journal, there's actually the farmer's like actions that are listed here, but down here it has the phases. It has the dawn, daytime, and dusk with the same little blue icon, book icon, so you know, okay, so determine whether that happens in the general game first on the table. Okay, check season effect, okay, same table. Resolve weather effect, okay, to table as well. And then resolve farmer weather effect. So, okay, now I'm going into my farmer board. And there's the same for daytime and dusk, rinse and repeat. It even says in your little legend, says, okay, if you have the little book icon, reference the town charter anytime you see this icon. You don't know what to do. So super handy, super easy to have on hand. Everyone will have their own book. You can have this, go through there, and instead of everyone having to, hey, can you hand me the rule book so I can see what this means? Like, it's literally like, okay, what does it mean for my character for this? You can literally find your section in this book and continue. That's awesome. And then, of course, you have this little helper card, which just adds extra flavor. And I am actually going to put this in here with everything. It's just easy to keep that there. I'll reset all that off camera. But yeah, that was the farmer. It seems like a good one to kind of start with to get you used to the game. Complexity is a 1. It's really just this kind of polyomino puzzle that you're playing through in your own time to try and get stuff, get, you know, money and improve your skills, which will probably help you out here in some way as well. And it's really just you farming in this town. That's great. All right. So next up, let's see what we're going to do next. I think we're going to do the next. I'm going to save her for last. Okay. So I think we're going to do the crafter. We're going to do next. I think another quick one there. So she'll be good. Her complexity is a 3. So tune in to the next video for that, the next rulebook rundown for Mythwind, as we go over the crafter and how to play as the crafter. But this was Bald and Board Games. I'm just bald today, going through our rulebook rundown for the farmer. So join us next time for the crafter. I will see you in Mythwind Valley.